ahead to the throttle man, and look, they have the hatch open. I don't know if that's on purpose, hydraulically operated, to get more air in the engine, or it's just blowing up. It doesn't matter. They're going to take the checker flag and win.
Action film star Chuck Norris took the wheel of Al Copeland's Popeyes Diet Coke and found immediate success.
Chuck Norris in the Popeyes Diet Coke and Don Johnson in his Team USA fought bow eye to bow eye.
Don won the world title in '88. He's been racing for several years, and to beat him on my first outing was really a thrill for me.
Inside the cockpit now, there's Chuck Norris with the hands on the wheel. Bobadoni on the right side, the throttle man.
It's just exciting. It's exciting to get into a new sport, and to be able to come out as a national champion is just a thrill of a lifetime, really.
In 1990, Chuck Norris took that Popeyes Superboat, a 50-foot Cougar catamaran so tough it probably bench-pressed the ocean, and turned the offshore circuit into his personal playground of pain. While everyone else was busy checking oil levels and whispering prayers, Norris just pinned the throttle, traded paint with Don Johnson and Kurt Russell like they owed him lunch money, and laughed at the chaos. Engines roaring, spray flying like confetti at his victory parade. He treated every run like a roundhouse kick in slow motion, because when Chuck Norris hits the water, the ocean doesn't make waves. It just parts and says, "Yes, sir."
He started as a karate star, then became a movie star. The competitive Chuck Norris loves to race.
All right, Chuck, you've been in high-speed performance boats before, going against the clock, but now you're going against man, machine against machine. It's a little different story.
Yeah, there's a big difference, especially in speed, because on the endurance runs, you do about 70 miles an hour. Yesterday, I was doing 140, so it's twice the speed that I'm used to.
Do you get the sensation of speed, though, in an encapsulated boat?
Yeah, you do, because when you're that low to the water, you can see yourself flying along there, and it's what's really different for me is the steering. Is that the steering on this is heavy. You know, it's a heavy steering, so you have to really put some muscle into your steering.
Offshore, there's a variety of classes competing on the same course at every event. Starting at the top, superboats. With few exceptions, you can throw out the rule book. Anything goes. Boats range from 35 to 50 feet in length. Multi-engines are allowed. Cubic inch displacement unlimited. And the cost? They can reach a staggering $2 million for an entire season.
And here we've got Popeyes Diet Coke.
Repowered with lightning engines, they brought the old lady out of retirement and put the actor Chuck Norris in the wheel with Bobadoni, throttle man. And look at the intensity that we see on our onboard inside camera of actor Chuck Norris getting his first real competition in offshore racing.
Boy, that shot really shows you the strength that it takes to drive one of these powerful machines. Popeyes Diet Coke looking very strong here in the early going.
5 Superboat titles this boat. They put it away, they tried the other boat, and here they're back today, and they're starting to pick up.
Here we are inside Popeyes. Chuck Norris driving, and look at the strength it takes to negotiate that craft.
Look at the determination. He's got his eyes riveted. Throttle man's handling the throttles. He's watching the swells, and he knows that he's going to race. They're very steady today.
Just by checkpoint 2 as they close on the leader, Team USA. That new concept of 4 motors into 2 artisan drives working for Popeyes. They're catching up.
Chuck Norris doesn't do racing. Racing does Chuck Norris. Dive deep into the history of offshore powerboat racing, only in the VÉHICULE print edition. Head to VÉHICULEshop.com to learn about the history of offshore powerboat racing. Drugs, money, murder, the real Miami Vice. VÉHICULEshop.com. Chuck Norris doesn't do racing. Racing does Chuck Norris.
Here's the boat that's closing in on it right now, Popeyes Diet Coke. Chuck Norris, the actor, is driving this boat, his first run in an offshore powerboat race. He's done endurance runs before, but he's learning on the course. The boat's been repowered by blown lightning engines. Let's listen in on the intercom.
I don't want you to get close to him at all. When we get going back, we're going to pass him.
Okay.
All right?
Got it.
Just let him go.
All right.
We're eavesdropping on Throttleman Bobadoni's conversation with actor Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris is leading now in the Popeyes Chicken 84.22 mile an hour average. Why do celebrities like Chuck Norris enter into the world of speed and competition?
I think it's just a matter of finding the sport that you enjoy doing, because I did off-road racing for 5 years. And now that I've got back into offshore racing, it's the same thrill that I had when I was doing off-road racing. It's just speed. It's no matter, just picking the sport that you like to do. And now offshore racing is my excitement.
Well, if being out in front means excitement, he's got to be very excited right now.
We're looking at Bob Idoni on the throttles, Chuck Norris at the wheel, the chicken chopper above as the leader in Superboat is the number 13 Popeyes. We'll be back with more action from Long Beach, California in just a moment.
In the Superboat division now, there you see Popeyes with a great average speed of 81.60 miles an hour. Chuck Norris holding on literally to the lead. Bob Idoni, his throttle man. Let's listen in.
Little Caesar is coming up, Bob.
What?
Little Caesar is coming up in a minute.
All right, let him.
The voice of Stan Ware telling Bob Idoni, the throttle man, that this boat here was coming up on theirs, but you know Idoni on those throttles, he'll play cat and mouse. He will not push it unless he has to.
Welcome back to Long Beach. Let's listen to the intercom of the Popeyes crew.
I hope you guys are counting laps. Yep, I'm working on it. Good. Easy now.
The Superboat leader, Popeyes Diet Coke, has the checkered flag in sight pretty soon. He's pulled away. What a success story this could be for Chuck Norris. Superboats approach the finish line at the OPT Long Beach Offshore Race. Dick Crippen is above the lead boat right now.
With the Queen Mary in the background, we're about to crown a king. Winner in the Superboat division, Popeyes Diet Coke. Now look at the guys. They're looking over at their helicopter to see if indeed they get confirmation of the win. They do get the confirmation. And in fact, actor Chuck Norris has won his first ever offshore powerboat race.
All right.
Owner Al Copeland and Chuck Norris, the driver, on the victory here. Chuck takes a lot of strength out there, but what a debut.
Oh, it was. It's just so exciting, man. Like Al said, I'm hooked now.
He's got the hook, man.
He hooked me in.
He got the hook.
Now you're proud of these guys.
Oh, you kidding me? I would tell you. The only thing is I'm beginning to get jealous now. I can't take this. I'm jealous now.
The throttle man, Bob, and it's going to be tough to keep him out of the cockpit, I know, but your experiment's working back there with this old boat.
Oh, it's fantastic. The crew really worked hard, and they've got to get a lot of the credit. They've just been working night and day for the last couple of months, and the bottom line is hard work pays off.
Art, take a look down at the Popeyes camp. Look what's going to happen.
You stand around too long with a smile on your face and a championship under your belt, and into the water you go.
And they don't care. They do not care. They are winners.
Throughout the 1990 season, Johnson and Russell faced off with another celebrity on the race course. Action film star Chuck Norris took the wheel of Al Copeland's Popeyes Diet Coke and found immediate success. Chuck is no stranger to high-performance powerboats. Since 1989, Norris has competed in long-distance endurance runs like the Chicago-Detroit Great Lakes Challenge. In his first ever offshore powerboat competition, Norris took the Popeyes team to victory in the waters off of Long Beach, California.
A special moment for Chuck Norris. He plays macho roles in the movies, but continually shows a very warm heart.
Wow. I'll be racing for you tomorrow, Josh, okay?
You're going to win.
Yeah, we plan on winning. I met a young fellow yesterday who has a rare disease, Joshua, and I'm dedicating this race to this young fellow. And it looks like we're going to have a good race today because the weather's real nice, the water's calm, and if it stays that way, it should be a real competitive race today.
Chuck Norris never gets too big to give of himself to various wish foundations nationwide. One of the most exciting moments, final preparations before challenging the water. There are all kinds of configurations in size and power that we'll soon see on the water. Inside the cockpit now, there's Chuck Norris with the hands on the wheel, Bob Idoni on the right side, the throttle man.
When the fleet arrived in Miami, the stage was set for an epic battle. For lap after lap, Chuck Norris in the Popeyes Diet Coke and Don Johnson in his Team USA fought bow eye to bow eye up and down Miami Beach.
Bob, there's a real battle going on now in the Superboat class. Here's a great shot of it. Team USA turning it on Don Johnson. There's the Popeyes boat with Chuck Norris at the wheel. Two great rivals going at it right now.
Off Miami Beach in the Superboat class, it's a battle for third place. Don Johnson, Team USA, third place. Chuck Norris in Popeyes is in fourth.
Let's go! Let's go! Okay, baby!
Bob, you can tell the adrenaline is really flowing with the Don Johnson team right here.
But Popeyes has passed them on the inside.
Right now, this is very taxing on the machinery. An $8 oil filter they did not secure at one race, and Don Johnson fell back out of contention, but they don't have that problem right now. Chuck Norris inside the cockpit, bouncing up and down now. In excess, meanwhile, is the leader in the Superboat class. They're dropping back a little bit. They're being conservative while that great battle is going on for third and fourth.
But they look so steady as that V-boat just cuts through the waves.
Averaging 102.08 miles an hour in excess.
The race for third place, though, continues the north end of the course. Popeye on the outside with a slight lead over Team USA.
Come on, cut it up, Don, attaboy. Come on, baby, come on, baby! I got a race going on here, all right!
The excited voices of Don Johnson, throttle man Richie Powers, and navigator Kurt Russell.
Because they did pick up some room on that turn now, and on the straightaway, heading down the shore side. There's Popeyes on the far side. Team USA on the near side. Don Johnson very excited. He was a world champion in '88, but this is the first race of the season he has been this competitive.
Boy, they're going by some of the boats in the pro class, some of the lesser boats, some of the slower boats, I should say. Look at them just flying by.
Johnson picking up some room now on Popeyes. He wants that third place. Look at Popeyes. Oh, the machinery. Can it hold together at this pace?
Boy, this is, what would you say? This is neck to neck, isn't it?
Oh, this is great offshore racing, and what a shot of it. Look at that pounding they're taking.
Looks like Popeyes is lengthening just a little bit of its lead. Chuck Norris and Popeyes, Don Johnson, Kurt Russell, and Team USA.
Look like the throttle men are just playing with each other the way they spurt back and forth. Team USA now taking an edge on Popeyes.
Boy, what a spurt by Team USA. Richie Powers, the throttle man, really putting it to this boat. Now they're in third place.
A slower boat off to the right there as you see him blow by him.
The friendly rivalry between the two star-studded race teams took center stage in Miami, Florida, when lap after lap the two giant superboats did battle.
Come on, baby, come on, baby! I got a race going on here, all right!
When the dust cleared, Team USA edged out the Popeyes for a well-earned second place behind points leader John Garrett's In Excess.
Don Johnson and Chuck Norris battling it out on the high seas, challenging each other for victory. A season director couldn't have cast two better superstars for the part if he tried. Both have tough guy images. Both started at the top in offshore racing, and both have met with early success in their powerboat racing careers. Johnson won the Superboat World Championship in his second year in the sport, and this year, campaigning a boat he owns and helped design, the Team USA. Norris, who has taken the helm of the Popeyes Diet Coke in owner Al Copeland's absence, has an impressive win under his belt at Long Beach, California, and finds himself right in the thick of the Superboat National Points chase in his rookie year. The competition between the two celebrities was most evident in the recent Miami, Florida event, where they battled bow to bow, deck to deck for most of the race. Is there a rivalry developing between the two superstars of the screen at offshore racing?
Friendly rivalry, of course. Beating Don at Long Beach was a great thrill because, Don won the world title in '88. He's been racing for several years, and to beat him on my first outing was really a thrill for me.
And you won't let him forget it.
I'm not going to let him forget, no. If I beat him today, he'll never forget about it.
Listen, I'll tell you what, he's got a good team over there. Popeyes is one of the best race teams. They've been my nemesis for a long time. A couple years ago, I got the title Chicken Killer when I won the World Championship. Oh, he'll love that when he hears that. But, when we joke around a lot and we have a lot of fun with it and everything, but when we get out on the race course, the fun's over. We're serious.
Norris and Johnson have lent their big names to the Offshore Professional Tour to help promote the sport, and both are cordial to the press and fans pitside and make themselves available for autographs and photos. But once the green flag is up, Each actor is determined to earn his stripes in the cockpit. In short order, both have earned the respect of the veterans on the tour. For Norris and Johnson, offshore racing is the ideal high-speed getaway from a fast-paced and demanding lifestyle. When racing on the ocean, Oscars and Emmys don't count. The only trophy that really matters is the checkered flag. It can easily be said that 1990 was the year that offshore powerboat racing was put on the map, thanks to two racers who just happened to have other jobs you might have heard of.
And it looks like Chuck Norris will have the edge in that personal duel as Don Johnson, Richie Powers looking in the port side engine. They're dead in the water.
Look at the way that big catamaran is riding. Look at the leap the deep V's are taking in the Popeyes Diet Coke with Chuck Norris and Bye-Bye Donny, not making too much speed and just battling those waves in this catamaran.
Oh, that shot, you can see the depth of the waves very, very well as the seas are reaching a danger point.
You're looking at a 50-foot boat weighing thousands of pounds being tossed around by high waves here on Lake Michigan. That's how rough it is. You would not want to be out there fishing today.
The Superboat fleet will fight to take the biggest bite out of the Big Apple. Leading the field in excess, piloted by John Garrett, has 2,178 points with victories in San Francisco and Miami. In the second spot, Superboat rookie Chuck Norris in the Popeyes Diet Coke has a win in Long Beach and trails by only 324 points. Moving up in the standings to third, Superboat world champion Peter Markey in the Little Caesars Pizza has 3 top 5 finishes and is the only deep V within striking distance of our leader, just 362 points out of the lead. Dropping to the fourth position, 455 points back, Don Johnson in the Team USA needs a win here today to keep his Superboat National Championship dream alive. And the winningest Superboat driver in the history of the sport, Al Copeland, returns to the water in possibly the fastest Superboat ever. Only one boat can be national champion, and time is running out for the contenders. The competition will be fierce as the Offshore Professional Tour hits the waters off Manhattan. Popeye's Diet Coke. Chuck Norris with a new throttle man for this race, Denny Hedges. But Hedges worked very closely with Bye-Bye Donny, who's now with Al Copeland in that new boat. Chuck Norris doing another great job. More action coming up, and we'll hear from Al Copeland, the innovator of the Superboat class, when we return. And he's been allowed to get into the cockpit for the first time this year.
I'm absolutely happy to be back. I've been out almost 2 years now, and it was actually a deal I made with the lenders not to race, and we've been talking to them, and they've decided to let me come back to racing, which I'm delighted to say.
And if you win this race?
If I win this race, I'll be on top, man. I love it. I mean, to come back and win would be the most exciting thing I can imagine.
This race marks the return of big-time offshore racing to the waters around Manhattan. In 1983, the fleet made its last appearance at the Chrysler Laser 200. The course ran through New York Harbor and out into the Atlantic. What made this race truly historic was the fact that it was the first race ever won by a superboat. Al Copeland's Popeyes had made its debut that same year and took its first overall victory here in New York. Copeland began his offshore racing career in open class with various Deep V cigarettes and a Scarab. In 1982, the Popeyes team began its winning tradition with their first win in Detroit. 1982 also saw Copeland and his then throttle man and crew chief Bill Saroy win the coveted Harmsworth Trophy for international competition. Copeland's desire for victory and his entrepreneurial spirit led him to the creation of the world's first superboat in 1983. The 50-foot Cougar catamaran tipped the scales at 9.5 tons and sported 4 700-horsepower Mercruiser engines. The boat won here in New York on September 24th, 1983, with an average speed of only 82.8 miles per hour. As the victories piled up, the Popeyes Cougar Superboat became the winningest offshore boat in history, with 19 victories and 4 consecutive national championships. In 1985, the Popeyes offshore team went for the Miami to New York long-distance record, but came up short. The 46-foot Cougar Deep V made several appearances on the national tour, but was most often left at the docks in favor of the Big Cat. In 1986, the season opener, Al Copeland and Bill Saroy arrived in Treasure Cay with a totally new concept race boat. Originally designed with a world straightaway record in mind, this 35-foot open-class wooden Cougar Cat was outfitted with 6 Mercury 2-cycle 300-horsepower outboard powerheads. Laid down on their sides, The engines were mated with a belt system to 2 Mercury surface drives. On their way to victory, the Popeyes Diet Coke became the first offshore powerboat in history to average over 100 miles an hour in competition, with a 103.2 mile an hour average speed for the 150-mile race. The boat went on to set the still existing open class straightaway speed record at a blistering 138.5 miles an hour. In 1987, Copeland christened the newest weapon in the lethal Popeyes offshore arsenal, a space-age, fully enclosed 50-foot Getz catamaran. In 1988, the Giant made its racing debut in New Orleans. After working out the bugs, the Behemoth took its first checkered flag in Sarasota. Al won 4 races and placed in the top 5 in the other 4 events in 1988 to win an unprecedented 5th consecutive national championship. In 1989, when Copeland bought Church's Fried Chicken for nearly $500 million, the lenders required Al to stay safely on the beach. After sitting out the entire '89 season and most of 1990, Al Copeland has made his long-awaited return to offshore racing in a hull that was the first to conquer the 100-mile-an-hour mark and set the open-class world straightaway speed record. A number of changes have been made to the old boat to make it new again.
What we've done is to keep the profile real low. We've put the driver on one side and the sponson and the throttleman on the other, and taken the cockpit out of the center, and the motors would be behind each man, and they're supercharged motors and 2 Mercury outdrives versus 8 power heads and 2 drives.
So the power has changed, and Al Copeland is back in the boat with a big smile on his face, Art.
Not quite the speed that we anticipated, but many feel that he's courageous getting into this fast boat.
And meanwhile, our second-place boat, Popeyes Diet Coke with Chuck Norris, is going to have to challenge and come up and try to make a race out of it. I asked Chuck Norris, what's the preparation difference between martial arts competition, powerboat racing, and acting?
It's the same. It's the same, being very focused and concentrated in your racing, in your martial arts, in your acting. It all interrelates. You've got to be a very focused person to be able to get through a film or through a boat race, and I train all the time. I train every day to try to maintain that focus and physical condition to handle the rigors of this race.
Right now, he's 12 miles behind the leader, who is now limping. It's going to be a challenge between these 2 boats. The top of your screen, it is the Popeyes Diet Coke, and here is Payless Eric's Reality, and they're going to challenge for the lead very shortly.
And Jim, they're both averaging 105 miles an hour. They're setting a scene for a tremendous drama at the finish. We're on the straightaway right now with Popeyes Diet Coke leading Payless Eric's Reality. But as they go into turn 1, we'll find that Marks cuts inside on the turns, taking up time and distance and recapturing the lead. This is a cat-and-mouse game.
Yes, it is. Charlie Marks takes a tighter turn as the Popeyes Diet Coke goes way wide.
We've got ourselves an exciting finish right now in the Superboat division. Popeyes Diet Coke, it looks like they have the power, Jim.
And they're on the inside. They've crossed lanes, and looks as though Charlie Marks has had a problem. He slowed way down, and look at who's going to take the checker flag for the second time in 1990 after winning at Long Beach. It'll be a finish for Popeyes Diet Coke, Chuck Norris, and Denny Hedger, the throttle man. And look, they have the hatch open. I don't know if that's on purpose, hydraulically operated, to get more air in the engine, or it's just flowing up. It doesn't matter. They're going to take the checker flag and win this OPT Grand Prix at 103.9 average mile per hour.
And that also tightens the points race going into the final race of the Superboat division. A happy crew as they ran out of gas after the finish line. We'll be back with the winners of the Superboat class right after this. Promoting his latest movie all week is now a winner again.
A happy crew, of course. Chuck Norris, I can't believe it, the Big Apple, and now you're within 83 points, and one last race wins it all. Whoever wins the marathon, that's it.
Yeah, so we're real happy with the race today. Dennis did a phenomenal job throttling, played a fantastic game out there, especially against Charlie Marks, because there was a nip and tuck all the way. It was switching back and forth from first to second place out there. And
Charlie Marks said that never let it be said an actor can't drive a boat, because he said you rode a heck of a race.
Well, that's nice of him to say. He kept beating me on the turns.
But you figured it out, he said.
Yeah, so I figured I can't keep going wide around him, because he kept cutting inside of me. And so I had to go wide around him. I said, if I keep doing that, because every time he'd get a jump on me by about 100 yards. So finally on the last one, I decided to cut inside. So as he went around, I cut right inside of him there and swamped his boat. And so
a little wetty.
Yeah, we got a little wet, but that's what kept us ahead of him.
Now tell me, Denny, you rode good throttles, as Chuck said, but you ran out of gas.
Right after we finished the race, we stopped to get the checkered flag, and that was it. She was done for the day.
1 minute after we finished the race and turned around to get the checkered flag, we ran out.
Talk about playing it close.
That's as close as you want to get.
After Grand Haven, the OPT fleet didn't have long to lick its wounds as the tour made its debut in New York City. The Hudson River course offered the racers a chance to put on a high-speed performance. Don Johnson and Richie Powers answered the call and set a blistering 127-mile-per-hour average speed on the first lap. Unfortunately, Team USA couldn't keep it together and blew a drive. That set the stage for Chuck Norris in the Popeyes Diet Coke and Charles Marks in the Payless Eric's Reality. The two giants battled it out lap after lap to the finish, where Norris made his move. The Popeyes team took its second victory of the season, placing Norris and company just 84 points behind OPT Superboat leader John Garrett. Al Copeland has brought a fleet of boats in this final race of the OPT season in hopes of keeping the heat on our season-long points leader, John Garrett.
I know the rules allow him to put as many boats in as he wants, but I really don't feel it's very fair. I've been offered just about every superboat here to get into and put my number on and drive. But I've turned it all down because I started in this boat and I'm going to finish in this boat, and I think that's the way it should be done.
Oh, in excess, our points leader, dead in the water, Jim.
Can you believe this? They're going to try to fix it. They've done it before. They have to get it started. They have an 84-point lead. Final race of the year. National championship up for grabs. They're going to have to get restarted in hopes of catching this boat, driven by Chuck Norris, who, if he stays going the way he is, would become the national champion.
It kind of takes the pressure off of Norris a little bit right now, but he has to concentrate on finishing this race.
The sixth-place team is this boat, Popeyes number 13, with Chuck Norris and Denny Haja. Now, they could, if they stay like this, and the In Excess does not restart, could be the national champion. Chuck Norris, in his first year of OPT racing, assesses the season.
I think they did well. I think OPT was very organized this year, and I think all the men involved in OPT are really dedicated to it, and I think it's going to grow more and more every year.
And, Jim, I have a feeling that Chuck Norris is not going to stand on shore and watch it grow year after year.
He's having too much fun as we look at Al Copeland and Bob Idoni in the Popeyes 113, currently running in 4th place. And Al Copeland's Navy occupy the next 3 slots, and here's 113 with Al Copeland at the wheel in Popeyes Diet Coke.
And, of course, the real concern of the Popeyes team is this one right here, number 13. With Chuck Norris, Denny hedges the throttle, and they're playing it very smart. By now they know In Excess is out of the race. Their concern is just keeping ahead of Little Caesars Pizza.
But over the course of the season, Norris would not be denied. Chalking up another victory in New York City, the scene was set for a final showdown in Marathon in the Florida Keys for the title of Superboat National Champion. Norris's chief rival was once again John Garrett of Wayne, Pennsylvania. After the start, Garrett's In Excess fell out due to mechanical problems. That sent the title right to Chuck Norris, Superboat National Champion in his first year of competition.
Now Jim is with our Superboat champions.
You're looking at a big part of the national championship team for 1990 OPT Superboats. You got to really be thrilled.
Oh yeah, it's exciting to win your first time out. You know, of course, you always like winning, whether it's your first year or 5th year, and being my first year and winning the national championship, it just puts the icing on the cake for me.
Denny Hedger, you're beaming.
Oh, I'm really happy. Everything went according to plan today. The boat performed perfectly. It's just a great day for Popeyes.
Can you explain the feeling you have right now?
Well, it's just exciting. It's exciting to get into a new sport, and to be able to come out as a national champion is just a thrill of a lifetime, really.
In the Superboats, In Excess unable to finish today, but Popeyes Diet Coke, a 148-point victory for the national championship. Our Superboat national champion, Chuck Norris, and Al Copeland's Popeyes Diet Coke. Popeyes, famous fried chicken and biscuits.
The celebrated actor Chuck Norris won this race last year on way to driving Popeye's fried chicken to a national title. Jim's with him now.
Down here with Chuck Norris, 1990 Superboat driving champion who misses, I think, the sport of OPT racing.
Oh, yeah, I do miss it. You know, I was filming until March of this year, so I haven't had a chance to really get back into the racing.
Have you kept kind of tabs on things? What's going on?
Oh, yeah, I've been talking to the guys, you know, my old team from last year, and seeing how things are going. And so I've been keeping track of the race this year.
What's the future hold for Chuck Norris as far as OPT offshore racing?
Truthfully, Jim, I don't know yet. You know, I'm doing the endurance runs right now with Drambuie, and I'm doing a run next month from San Francisco to LA to San Diego. And I'll just have to wait till next year to see. I've had some offers to drive for some of the teams, a new team in Las Vegas, but I don't know yet. Like I say, I'm going to hold off this year and just wait and see how things go, and maybe next year get back into it.